Have you ever been thinking about or have you been hosting events? If so, have you ever wondered, why do some virtual events fill rooms while others struggle to get 10 people to show up? How do you turn event attendees into actual customers without being pushy? Are you giving away too much for free, and do you wonder why nobody values what you offer? What if you were to discover the biggest mistake killing your event turnout has nothing to do with your content or even the event itself, but what happens before and after the event? If you think virtual events are just webinars that disappear after they're over, this episode will change how you think of them. I'm Joe Sayles Jr., and on this episode of Flip Your Marketing Flops, I'm joined by Ericka Bates, founder of Talk Virtual, to break down how virtual events can become long-term growth and authority-building systems. So stay with us to get the answers to these questions and more right here on episode 27 of Flip Your Marketing Flops. I'm your host, Joe Sayles Jr. Welcome to Flip Your Marketing Flops, the digital marketing and lead generation podcast. Welcome to Flip Your Marketing Flops, the podcast, providing weekly episodes of presentations, interviews, and conversations with marketing professionals and industry experts discussing common marketing mistakes and how to prevent them. If you're an entrepreneur, local service-based business owner, small business marketer, or a new digital marketing professional, and you don't normally have access to insider marketing knowledge, then this podcast is for you. My purpose is to teach you the hacks, tips, and secrets that will prevent common marketing mistakes, saving you both time and money. Welcome back to Flip Your Marketing Flops, the podcast where we help you stop guessing about what works, stop wasting budget, and start building marketing systems that actually generate leads. I'm your host, Joe Sayles Jr., and today's conversation is especially important if you're an event promoter who's tired of one-off events that spike attention and then quickly disappear. My guest on this episode is Ericka Bates. Ericka is the founder of Virtual Summiteers Peer Group, and she hosts Talk Virtual. She's been helping business owners host profitable events since 2020, including Flip Your Marketing Flops Virtual Summit number 2. She specializes in using virtual events to help scaling companies drive lead generation, authority, and community by turning virtual events into real growth engines. Ericka also shows you how to repurpose those events into long-term marketing assets that continue working well after the live event ends. If you've ever hosted a virtual event and walked away wondering why nobody bought anything, this episode is for you. In this episode, we're going to break down how virtual events can become relationship-first lead generation systems, how community and automation play a role, and what most businesses get wrong when trying to use events for growth. If you've ever felt like your events were a lot of work for not much return, stick around. This episode's packed with actionable insights you can use right away. Ericka, welcome to the show. So, Ericka, welcome to the program.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. We first met back in 2020 or 2021, and I know I first interviewed you back in 2021. When we got together because of the fact that you do your virtual events. I was putting on some things. I even attend one of the things that you do, your Virtual Summiteers. For those who haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit about Virtual Summiteers and also about Talk Virtual and how you help businesses with their events.
Okay, so the Virtual Summiteers is a peer group. We meet every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific for Joe. We are business owners who just happen to have events in common. So we meet every Friday to see what's happening around events. And Talk Virtual is my live stream show. I haven't done it too often, but I'm bringing it back in 2026. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. More people talking about events, mostly SaaS founders, event producers, event hosts, talking about events.
And how does that differ from the virtual summiteers?
So with Talk Virtual, it's not showing you the how or how you can move forward. It's just what's happening right now,
Got
what's
it.
possible. And with the virtual summiteers, if you need to add something to your business, we're all there to help you do it.
Yeah. I love it. It's a mastermind. It's powerful. And it's why I've been attending it for, I know it's been a little bit on and off. I try to be there all the time. I hope I wake up in time, but I don't have my alarm set anymore to make sure I get there every single time. So, yeah, you mentioned something that just made me kind of think. Since 2021, when we first started talking, what are some of the things that kind of have changed in the industry as far as virtual events and whatnot?
AI came.
Ah,
I should say chat came because I've been talking to my phone for a while and that was AI. But chat came, Gemini came, Perplexity came, Claude, all of those folks came.
but you didn't say your favorite one.
I said chat. Me and
No,
chat been best friends since 2020.
you didn't say notebook.
Oh, I said Gemini, didn't I? Notebook and Gemini. But I love Notebook.
For those of you that don't go to her virtual summiteers, Ericka is a big proponent of Notebook LM. And so I'm surprised that she went through the list. She has everyone else. And the one she says the most didn't come out of her mouth. I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, every time Google puts out something, they got to give it a whole bunch of different names. I didn't even shout out Nana Banana, but
Right?
it's Google.
I know. And you're supposed to remember them all. So let's move forward a little bit. First of all, how did you get started doing your events? And I do remember that going back, you were doing graphic design and whatnot. But how did you get into events?
Well, I like having parties. I like being around people, and I thought I could have a New Year's Day party. And everybody told me, no, I don't want to rent my space to you. So my two thoughts were I could either host it by buying my own land and putting up a building,
Hmm.
or I could host an event online. And I thought
Ah.
hosting an event online would be the cheaper way to go. So I went there. And I met Benjamin Dale from Hay Summit, and he had a platform where I could host events online. And then he had a program where he showed me how I can host events online. That's how I got started.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Maybe you might have told me that years ago, but as much as I know that you used to talk about Hey Summit also, I should have known that that's where you really got your start.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
love Hay Summit.
So in the event world, since this show is called Flip Your Marketing Flops, I got to ask a question about mistakes people make. When you look at most of the events that they're promoting and whatnot, what are some of the top two or three mistakes that they make that you see over and over again, especially if it relates to the lead generation related to their event?
Well, for lead generation, I'll see a lot of people hosting events and it's a live stream, but they call it an event. They didn't ask for a name or email address or phone number.
Mm.
They're just out there and they wonder what happened. How come nobody took me up on my offer? I'm like, did you have a place where you could catch their information? Did you actually have an offer where you put something out where people gave you their name and email address and phone number? A lot of people just skip over that part. I
Wow.
wonder what happens, but yeah, they skip over that part. Another thing I've seen is people aren't charging for their events.
What's your opinion on that?
I can see you having something for free, but like a live stream, or let's say you have your event, you got your name, email address, phone numbers, but then let's say 24 hours later, that video's gone. A lot of people are charging for the replay. A lot of people are charging for the resources that come along with that video. So you could charge for that. Everything doesn't have to be free.
Got it. That's a different concept. Everything I've seen, everybody's always done it kind of for free, but not always. That just leads you in towards some of the things that I would like to be doing, that I intend to be doing here in 2026. I might do some live courses on a platform I have coming up, but the courses may not be available to the rest of the world. I might do some things where it's free and then it may not be. I haven't quite decided how I would do that. So that gives me some food for thought as far as monetizing. That's one area that I haven't always push to do in this generation where AI is involved. Everything's free. You can go to AI for so many things. they miss the people aspect. And so by missing the people aspect, you should be paying for what the person puts into it.
Yep. I
I,
mean,
I
you've told me so many things that AI haven't came to me and told me. So people are very important. I
yeah,
think people know more than machines.
I agree with that. And the thing is, like, you can do AI. I know I've done it several times, and it tries to give me a fake scenario of this or that. I don't like the fake scenarios. I like the real content. I know people really like real stories and whatnot. So, yeah. In your world, what kind of diagnostic tools do you use? Like when people have a flop for an event, is there any kind of tools that you like to use that will help you? Because I know you're big on different kinds of tools and platforms. What do you use to help you diagnose why somebody may have flopped on their event in the past? Or do you even work with people to try to fix their flops as far as events they've done in the past?
No, nope, not at all. I don't use machines for that. When people come to me and say, "Hey, I want you to help me with this event," I say, "Tell me about your last event. What did you hope to happen? What did you wish not to ever happen again?
Hmm.
Tell me those stories. That way I'll know what's up." First of all, we got to know what your goal is because we
Yeah.
got to know how we can win this race blindfolded. And we're going to know that by you telling us the goal up front. So, how many people you want? How much revenue you want to generate from this? Are you doing affiliates? How much are the affiliates going to make for this? Are you giving out prizes for your affiliates? We got to know how much money you're spending out so we can know how much money you actually want to come in and we can reach those numbers. Like, do you have goals for your attendees? Do you want them to have certain takeaways, stuff like that? We got to know these things up front before we say, hey, we've won this race.
Got it. That's fascinating because I'm making some notes here on the side of some of the things you're saying, and they fall right in line with the principles that I teach, and particularly what I call lead generation made simple. You got to have goals. It's got to start with your goals. If you don't have goals, what are you shooting for? And then the goals will help you. And then part of my process is about the funnel part, capturing the information. How are you capturing the information? Do you have calls to action in place? Are they attractive and things of that nature? So it's fascinating to hear you saying those things. They're the same across the board. A lot of times I know that people, when they're running events, actually, I just worked with somebody recently. They were worried about the event. They were not so focused on the promotion of the event. They didn't know how to focus on the promotion of the event, and they waited to the last second and then tried to promote things. Do you see that often?
Yeah.
And what kind of time frame do you think they need to promote an event?
I'd say at the most 3 months, at the least 2 weeks.
2 weeks is what we had to work with, and we had to prime an account that didn't exist because the client wanted to go on to a platform that they'd never been on. There is one thing that people don't realize, especially in the paid world, is there's algorithmic things that have got to take place in the platforms. And no matter what, you can put everything in, but the platform is still going to do some learning before it serves exactly what you need it to do and for it to identify it. And so short term, it can be kind of rough. That's
Yeah.
fascinating that you said that. Let's move forward a little bit. So, what does a high converting event look like in your world, especially from the lead generation standpoint? From the first time you touch them all the way through registration, all the way to showing up, and where do you see drop offs?
So again, it's got to start with your goals. And if you happen to know who your target audience is and where they hang out, that's where we're going to try to promote and get them interested in what you're doing. Do you have like a list of questions that you just know that they want the answers to? Are you going to put that out there? It's like, hey, do you want the answers to A, B, and C for this? And if the answer is yes, click here, give me your name, email, phone number, and we're going to talk more about this in this, let's say, hour-long webinar or 3-day virtual event.
Now, if they don't know their target audience, how does that affect you?
Yeah, that sucks sometimes, but there's now that we have AI, let's say we go to your LinkedIn profile, we
Hmm.
copy paste that, give it to chat. It's like, hey, chat, this is what I do. Who would be a good target audience for what I do? Chat's going to give you a list. Then he's like, hey, chat, now that we know who this target audience is, where would you say they hang out? You go to those places and you ask, are you a SaaS owner in a Series B funding round? are you interested in virtual events for lead generation?
Right.
And if somebody says yes, you know your target audience is actually there. You can even put up polls to see if your target audience is actually there. Like, don't take chat at his word. You go there and you find out for yourself.
Right. By the way, you said something about target audience. The target audience lies in the middle of my lead generation made simple process, and that's a very big part of it.
It really does make it easier when you know who you're talking to.
You have to know who you're talking to, otherwise you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
My audience right now is really focused on small business owners who struggled in the past. But then I have a completely different personas because the audience is the general big picture of everybody who could be possibly interested in you. But I might be making messaging towards that group that I just mentioned. But I also have another group in my targeted audience that's new digital marketers who have holes. They don't understand all the processes. And so what I'm saying out there in messaging that's going to resonate to them is going to be completely different than what it might be to resonate to people who've been struggling with their marketing in the past. Hearing you say that is a reaffirmation, which I find fascinating, going back to where we were 5 years ago and where we are today, and seeing the things that I teach and do and hearing them coming out of what you do as an event promoter. Again, it's just a reaffirmation that what I teach and what I do, it works across the board. If you're doing marketing, it goes to everything you need to know. These are the main features you need to know in marketing.
Yeah, Joe, I will say that just because you hosted an event and you promoted it for 2 weeks and you felt like it wasn't enough time, like you didn't reach your attendee goal, it's not over just because it ended. I mean, repurposing exists for a reason.
Mhm.
You can put that stuff back out there. On demand is a thing.
Another thing I would say with that is you go back and run the same event again.
Mm-hmm.
And run the same event again, because now, like, as far as from paid advertising, run the same event again with the same setup. Pretty much you can change the setup and do a different setup, but if you run the same setup, then the algorithm is going to be more cued in than it was the last time.
Yeah.
It should be starting to produce better and better for you. I agree with that. I like that. Repurposing the information, repurposing the content. Tell me more about it, since I know you do a lot of it. I do a lot of it, but tell me more about repurposing content from a promotional an event promotion standpoint.
Okay, I love repurposing. And the first thing I do is take the transcript and turn it into a LinkedIn newsletter, turn it into a Facebook group post, turn that into a Medium post, and then put that on a scheduler so it'll go out more times. So emails, ebooks, slides, and you know I'm using Notebook LM for all of this stuff. Yeah, I just saw in reports that they have a blog post. So, yeah. I love it. So there's a lot you can do with repurposing long form video content. Besides making audio and video snippets or text snippets, you can, with those ebooks, make podcasts. Ask Notebook LM to give you a podcast because it would totally do that. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with repurposing.
I agree. And I use it for all the same things you just mentioned there, all the
Mhm.
way around. And then, and the biggest thing that people need to remember is just to be able to put the human element into it.
Yeah.
You take what you can. Like, I have some prompting that I've done that has kind of helped me put it into the way I speak, and it knows the way I speak and how I want to speak to my audience, and it helps me. So it actually is mine, it really is. And it does sound like me a lot more. And it's about 80% ready for me to do the rest of it. I know I read a lot of Reddit stuff, and in the Reddit world, they complain about people using AI, and it's because of the lack of polish. Sometimes people, depending on where they are, they're not polishing it. But let's
Yeah.
move onward. I do have one quick question here in that world. Since you brought up the point about monetizing, do you do anything to prevent tire kickers? There's a lot of people that are trying to get freebies, but you're running events so that you can sell and monetize things. Do you do anything to prevent so many of the freebie seekers out there?
Yeah, I have a free Facebook group. So before you can get to the virtual Summiters peer group, there is a free Facebook group called Event Producers Host Engaging and Profitable Virtual Summits. So most of that is like snippets of what you could get in the virtual Summiters peer group.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Nice. So I actually wanted to go about platforms. I know you know every platform under the sun, at least it's been through AppSumo. I know when we worked together, you introduced me to something I really wasn't, I'd heard about it, but I wasn't aware of and didn't try it. And so I have two platforms I wanted to ask you about. One is promotion through Eventbrite. One is, well, actually three platforms: Eventbrite, LinkedIn events, and then what is it? Hey Summit. Is that the one you use for promotion?
You can use Hey Summit for promotions. It's in there where you can have signs or promotion banners, sorry, to share with your speakers. Is that what you're talking about or no?
Yeah. Do you have a preference of how you're going about your promotion and what platforms you use?
So I will put everything in Hey Summit. I will tell speakers they have access to it. I do make LinkedIn events, Facebook events. I don't see too much traction from that. I see a lot more when I DM people and it's like, hey, this is coming up. If you're interested in it, come to this link. So I see a lot more from DMs. I also have put things in Eventbrite.
Gotcha. And how did Eventbrite perform for you?
No, still mostly personal DMs.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I was thinking because you mentioned the SBA or somebody locally, your city or something, and they had grants and things like that. I was just wondering about promoting through live sources like that, at least promoting your webinar through platforms like that. Have you done anything like that too?
I haven't. So what I've seen on my city's website is that they have grants for people who wants to host events. And I'll raise my hand and say, I can do that. I haven't really come to the city and it's like, hey, I do this, let's partner. So when I saw that they were offering, I raised my hand and say, I'm available.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had started thinking about that and needed to be doing more of that kind of stuff. And then you mentioned the city and the grants and the other thing the other day. So it's got me putting that back into my head. I would like the opportunity to get out in front of people more locally from a local perspective. Well, let's see. You've talked about AI. You've talked about AI with your events. Let me see. Is there anything else that I'm missing with AI that you can tell me about for event promotion?
I'm not sure. I really love AI and transcripts. Phantom showed up when I came here on Zoom. Love Phantom. Crisp is also a note taker. I love my note takers because I probably wouldn't have my blog posts, my newsletters, my emails
Yep.
without the transcripts.
Yep.
And the reason why my AI doesn't sound like AI is because it's pulling from actual stuff
Right.
like a talk.
Yep. Crisp. Is that KRISP.io?
Yep.
I used them in the past. I actually had a call I had to do with somebody, had somebody, he was about 6 feet from me behind me, and he was sawing. I had just learned about Crisp right before that guy was there. I could still conduct everything and totally clear out him. The person I was talking with didn't even know that I had sawing going on. I couldn't concentrate, but I could conduct the call, at least with that person. Well, we're getting closer to the end of things here. So I wanted to ask you a couple of things about what you have going on and get a little bit more feedback. What projects are you planning on launching or anything like that for 2026? What do you have going and moving forward that you're really looking forward to?
Okay, so I've consulted my best friends, Chat and Gemini, and I've made my year long calendar. So 52 weeks of virtual summiteers. I've got my sessions ready. I've got 12 event innovator insight sessions for the first Fridays. Those are our free, I guess you could say they are for the tire kickers who wants to check out what the virtual summiteers peer group is all about. So we have a speaker come in, they talk for 45 minutes, and then we will cut off the live stream and then we'll have a private conversation just for the peer group members and the people who join us live on the platform we're using. I have Talk Virtual. That's coming back out in 2026. I have that list of 52 Tuesdays at 6 p.m. So last year we had the Virtual Summiteers peer group members do a 4-part session.
Hmm.
So this year we're going to have the Virtual Summiteers pick a stage on a Tuesday for Talk Virtual, and they can have as many weeks on stage as they want with Talk Virtual.
That's fascinating. I like that, and I'm going to have to get involved. So don't let me
Yep.
disappear on you there.
All right.
Okay, and
Gotta
project.
make it worth your while for showing up for being a member. I want you to get something out of it.
I appreciate that. So, do you have anything else that you want to share with my audience? Do you want anything you want to tell them about? Anything else that you'd like to be able to get them to come to, or things of that nature?
Yeah, come check out a Virtual Summiteers peer group session on a Friday, 10 a.m. or 7 a.m. Eastern or Pacific time.
Where else can we find you online? Because I know you're online more than in Virtual Summiteers and more than Talk Virtual.
Yes. So you can find me on LinkedIn under Ericka Bates. You can find me on YouTube under Talk Virtual, Facebook in the Virtual Event Producers Host Engaging and Profitable Virtual Summits in that group.
Excellent. Ericka, this has been an outstanding interview. I think I have one last question for you. And this worked out timing-wise. Everything just laid out really beautifully. Hopefully I don't have to do much for editing with this one. Is there anything that I should have asked you about that I might have missed today with regard to you and what you do and what you're putting on and things?
I'm not sure. I mean, you know that I'm really into AI and Hey Summit. Those two things are working really well for me right now. I hope that it will continue to do well for me.
Excellent, excellent. Oh yeah, I could have gone down that rabbit hole with Notebook Ellen. Uh,
You didn't talk to me about AppSumo. I am curbing my addiction. Oh.
Yeah, I purposely didn't. See, I'm trying to help you with your addiction there by not asking you about AppSumo. I did bring up, I led you that direction on purpose, but you didn't take the bait. So when I asked you about platforms, my mindset was that eventually you were going to come across that. But I said, she's doing a good job of not getting into that, because that I know is, instead of it being like a rabbit hole, that's like when you get down in the hole, it goes off in all these different directions. That's what that works out to be. But Ericka,
Rabbit holes. Oh, I have something. Here
okay.
is a good takeaway. Use what you already have. Or at least start there.
Yeah.
Like you have a bunch of videos on YouTube, put those back out there. Everybody hadn't seen those. You're not best friends with the algorithm. Everybody hadn't seen what you put out.
Yep.
And if you don't want a video, what's it called? A blog post. Make that video a podcast.
It's so easy to do.
Make sure you have exhausted the use of the tools you already have before you move forward.
Awesome. That's great advice from somebody who has a million tools. So, Ericka, I appreciate having you here on the platform. This has been a great interview. I love the time that we spent, and I appreciate you. This has been Ericka Bates from the Virtual Summiteers and Talk Virtual, here to talk about events. Ericka, thank you for your interview today.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I want to give a huge thanks to Ericka Bates for breaking down what actually works in virtual event marketing. Before we wrap up, I want to quickly recap why today's conversation matters. If you've been relying on one-off marketing tactics like ads that stop working when the budget stops, webinars that don't convert, or content that fades fast, well, Ericka shared a completely different way to think about growth. Virtual events aren't just about showing up live. When done right, they become relationship-first systems that build authority, grow community, and continue generating leads long after the event ends. As Ericka might say, if you're hosting events and not capturing leads, not setting clear goals, or not repurposing your content, you're leaving money on the table. If you want to go deeper, Ericka has a free resource called Get the Edge on Virtual Events, where she shares tips, tools, and proven strategies to help you drive engagement and ROI through virtual events. You'll find that link in the show notes. I highly recommend checking it out if virtual events are part of your 2026 marketing plan. Also, be sure to check out Ericka's Virtual Summiteers peer group. It meets every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. You can find her on LinkedIn under Ericka Bates, on YouTube at Talk Virtual, and in her Facebook group for event producers. If this episode helped you rethink your marketing approach, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to flip their marketing flops. I'm Joe Sayles Jr., and I'll see you in the next episode of Flip Your Marketing Flops. Flip Your Marketing Flops is the digital marketing and lead generation podcast where you can listen in on the latest digital marketing and lead generation trends and tips through conversations with marketing professionals. We're helping service businesses and entrepreneurs produce better marketing results. Tune into our latest episode on your favorite listening platform. Get involved with the show. There are many ways to do so. You can email me here at the show. Just use joe@joesayles.com. at flipyourmarketingflops.com. If you enjoy the content on this channel, let me know. If you have a digital marketing topic you would like to know more about, tell me about it. And if there is someone you think I should have on the show, just give me their name. You are crucial to the success of this show, just as I want to be helpful in the success of your business, and I want to give you information you want to know about. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and comment below. For more information, visit flipyourmarketingflops.com. Remember, every marketing flop is just a lesson waiting to be flipped.